This is Pokling 888 Telemetrading Daily Market Research and Data Analysis. Here are the top 10 most active companies in the Philippine Stock Exchange in terms of volume. Solar Philippines Nueva Ecija traded 211.74 million at a price of 1.29 per share, followed by the Mega World with 36.05 million at a price of 3 pesos and 14 cents per share. Next, the all-day marts with 35.51 million at a price of 0.60 or 60 cents per share. Next, the AC Energy Philippines traded 26.33 million at a price of 9.64 per share. Next, the Metro Pacific Investment with 14.77 million at a price of 3.85, followed by the Ayala Land Logistics, closed at a price of 6 pesos and 38 cents and traded 14.28 million. Next, the DMCI with 8.24 million at a price of 8 pesos and 09 cents per share. Next, the Monde Nissin with 9.50 million at a price of 15 pesos and 92 cents. Next, the Pure Gold Price Club with 2.66 million at a price of 36 pesos and 55 cents per share. And the Wilcon Depot with 1.82 million at a price of 29 pesos and 8 cents per share. And here are the notable gainers, led by the Anchorland with 14.29%. Next, the United Paragon Mining with 10.77%, followed by the Union Bank with 10.14%. Next, the Atok Big Wedge with gains of 8.24%. Next, the Solar Philippines Nueva Ecija with 7.50% gains, followed by the Security Bank with 6.63%, then the Liberty Flour Mills with 5.93%, next the DNL Industries with 5.88%, next the Alsons Consolidated with total gains of 5.83%, and among the top gainers is the Ayala Land Logistics with 5.80%. And here are the decliners, led by the Philippine Racing Club, declined 13.27%, followed by the Asia Best with 9%. Next, the STI Education Systems with 7.35%. Next, the Philippine Realty lost 5.16%. Also, the Soc Resources with 5.00 or 5% losses. Next, the Manila Broadcasting Company with 4.76% losses, followed by the Arthur Land with 4.69% losses. Also, the Philippine Infradev Holdings lost 4.24%. Also, the Benguet B with 4.15%, and the ATN Holdings B with losses of 3.75%. And this is the latest in Forex. For US dollar, the dollar index steadied near the 96 level on Monday, while the offshore yuan edged higher toward 6.375 per US dollar. And the Australian dollar hovered below 0.72 US dollar, while the yen steadied around 115.8 per US dollar, while the New Zealand dollar hovered below 0.679 US dollar, and the British pound extended gains to trade around 1.36 US dollars. And here are the updates on commodities. For gold price, the gold remained below 1,800 US dollars an ounce on Monday, while the crude feature steadied near 79 US dollars per barrel. Also, the Brent crude futures steadied near 82 US dollars per barrel on Monday after a strong rally last week, while the natural gas futures rose past 4.1 US dollars per million British thermal units. And these are the stock market updates. In US, the US stock futures were mixed on Monday after a losing week for the three major averages, as investors grappled with prospects of higher interest rates. Dow futures fell 0.1%, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures rose 0.1% and 0.3% respectively. The Nasdaq led the declines last week after falling 4.53% as investors rotated out of high growth names into value and cyclical stocks. The S&P 500 followed with a 1.87% weekly loss, and the Dow shed 0.29%. Technology, healthcare, and communication services stocks dropped the most, while energy and financial names gained. While in New Zealand, the NZX lost 0.6% to close at 12,893 on Monday, falling for a third straight session as stocks in New Zealand came under pressure from rising bond yields. The benchmark 10-year bond yield in New Zealand jumped to 2.54% on Monday, tracking a steady rise in US Treasury yields as traders braced for a more aggressive monetary tightening by the US Federal Reserve. Nearly all sectors of the market declined, with notable losses from tourism holdings with 4.55%, EBOS with 3.98%, Sky Network with 3.53%, Mercury New Zealand 3.14%, and Serco with 2.99% losses among others. Meanwhile, stocks that were able to resist the sell-off include Sanford 2.67%, restaurant brands NZ with 1.79%, and A2 Milk with 1.56%. In Australia, the S&P or ASX 200 index shed 0.08% to close at 7,447 on Monday, as Australian tech names remained under pressure from prospects of higher interest rates, while investors continued to monitor the COVID situation closely. High growth technology stocks sold off globally at the start of the year amid strong hawkish signals from the US Federal Reserve, which indicated that it could tighten monetary policy more aggressively than anticipated. The biggest decliners in local tech names include Zero Ltd with 2.75% losses, Afterpay with 2.31%, WiseTech Global with 2.72% losses, Next DC Ltd with 1.63%, and Seek Ltd with 0.68% losses. Healthcare, consumer, and financial stocks also fell, while energy and mining firms mostly gained. In United Kingdom, the UK stock markets made a cautious start to the week, with the FTSE 100 falling back below the 7,460 mark on Monday. While in China, the Shanghai Composite rose 0.39% to close at 3,594, while the Shenzhen Component gained 0.44% to 14,407 on Monday, as mainland stocks erased early losses and staged a broad market rebound, led by Shanghai's tech-focused stock market amid reform expectations. Nearly all sectors of the market rebounded following sharp declines last week, with notable gains from Quichao Mutai 1.24%, China Mobile with 2.05%, Changqi Lithium with 3.59% gains, Andon Health with 1.82%, and Muyuan Foods with 5.35% among others. In France, the CAC 40 index traded slightly lower to hover around 7,210 on Monday as losses in the tech sector offset gains in energy while investors await a batch of important data this week. On the corporate front, Atos lost 17.5% after the IT services firm reported sales to be 2.4% lower than its financial target presented last summer at 10.8 billion euros, even though the group was betting on stable returns. At the same time, Total Energies gained 1% and Technip FMC gained 1.3%. In Italy, the FTSE MIB index traded 0.2% higher at around the 27,670 level on Monday. On the corporate front, Banca Carriage gained 1.7% after reports that Deeper Banca 1.1% improved its initial offer to acquire Carriage, becoming the top candidate for the acquisition ahead of Credit Agricole. At the same time, utilities rose 0.8%, driven by Enel with 1%. In South Africa, the FTSE or JSE All Share Index rebounded 0.5% to trade at the 74,300 level on Monday, boosted by financials and commodity-backed shares. While in Europe, European shares were flat to lower on Monday, following small losses last week. And these are the updates on bonds. In Switzerland 10-year government bond yield increased to a 3-year high of 0.016%, while in US, the 10-year Treasury note continued to rise to 1.79% in the second week of January. While in Finland, it increased to a 21-month high of 0.192%. And in Austria, the 10-year government bond yield increased to a 21-month high of 0.201%. And this is Emmy from Philippines reporting. Thank you very much.